So hello, my name is David Biale, and I am the co-editor of the Stanford series in Jewish Studies. I'm here with Omri Asscher, the author of a recently published book in our series, Reading Israel, Reading America, The Politics of Translation Between Jews. So this is a book that takes on the complex, sometimes fraught relationship between American Jews and their Israeli cousins. And because this focuses in on translation, I want to ask you, Omri, if you could perhaps give us some examples of translations that you found in one direction or the other that you think are significant in particular.
Yeah, so for instance, when you look at Hebrew literature being translated into English for its predominantly American Jewish target audience, you find that some self-critical images were subdued, moderated, sometimes completely omitted. Like say a scene where Palestinian villagers are deported in a scene in an Aaron Meged book, or you have this Amos Oz character who has these hallucinations or these brutal images of vengeance on the neighboring Palestinian village, and these were omitted altogether. Or say you have an A.B. Yoshua novel where he has a Palestinian character who says, every morning I take the bus to the Jews, in the source text, in the original Hebrew. But then in the translation, this was changed into every morning I take the bus to work. So the thing that differentiates him as his different national identity was subdued in the translation. These are a couple of examples.
What about in the other direction? That is American Jewish literature translated to Hebrew.
Yeah, so there were some changes done there. I'd say some of the translation norms make the novel more Jewish in a way. For instance, if you have to Jerusalem in the source text, it could become Hayerushalayma in a more this lofty register that kind of frames it in, but this was not so different from other translations from other languages. I think you find the mediation most dominant in literary reviews, in how, say, Sol Bello was understood or framed.
Is there some very brief kind of synopsis of the argument that you can give us?
I guess you can say that Hebrew literature and the Israel that it represents was appropriated for its American Jewish readers, as American Jewish works were kind of adjusted to the self-perception of Israel in the other direction. This is kind of a dialogue of sorts, a conversation or a negotiation of ideas where each culture responded to its counterpart community.
Mm. So can you tell us why you chose to write on this topic?
I guess maybe it all started when I translated a very short diary of my grandmother in Westerbork transit camp on her way to Theresienstadt, and just for family use, for my parents. And I checked myself not to make her more eloquent, I had to see that I'm not changing things. And it really struck me how translation scholars have shown this for a long while, is inherently mediated, how images are always, they have this the potential of being changed. And so I felt that it would be interesting to explore the American Jewish-Israeli relationship through this lens.
Well, wonderful. Thank you. This is a very exciting book that really opens up a field that I think no one has actually touched to date. And so I want to wish you the best of luck with the book.
So.
Yeah. And there it is.